Are you ready? Are you ready? Hi everyone, it's Sean Murphy. Hey, Rodrigo, I want to thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you and your team. You asked me to do a little video for your group, and I'm going to put this together. It's not going to be perfect. It may have some ums and some ahs while I'm thinking of information, but I created it for you. So if you're ready, let's get started. Are you ready? This is about getting started. What does that mean? Right now, if you're in the room, you've already gotten started. You've already begun. The question is how do we help other people get started? Well, the reality is, listen carefully, the reality is, in order for them to get started with you, they had to get started a long time ago, before you had your first conversation with them. What do you mean? Well, what we are looking to do in our industry is we're looking to help people find a solution. That's what we're helping people to find. Well, let me ask you this. What is your number one, what's your number one product? What would you say? Oh, well, there's that. What else do you think? What if somebody else said something else? What's the other number one product you have? Here's what the number one product is. Listen carefully. The number one product that we have to offer is a solution. See, the solution could be better health, could be better wealth, could be a part-time opportunity, could be something that could immediately help them with their discomfort, could be helps their spouse, helps their kids sleep better. The number one product is a solution. Our job in getting started, helping someone to get started, is to find out what is the solution they are looking for. Think about that for just a second. Doesn't that make sense? If we can be a solution provider, if we could be a solution provider, then all we have to do is find the question they're asking. Does that make sense? So in getting started, right now is the best time to help people get started. Why? Because everybody is afraid of next year. I shouldn't say everybody. Many people are afraid of next year. A lot more people are afraid of next month. They're not going to have a job. They're not going to have the income. The economy is going to change. The world's going to have this new infrastructure, and it's going to be totally different. And if I'm not prepared, what happens? How do I know this is the right time to help people get started? Because you have to ask yourself, are people stressed? Is there any stress out there? If there's stress out there, then that means people aren't happy. I can ask you this question. Are you happy being a part of your company? Are you happy being a part of your team? I bet the answer is yes, otherwise you wouldn't be here on a Saturday. So, how do we find the solution to stress to help people get started? See, it's a very simple process. And we're going to go through it. I'm going to do my best over the course of the next 10 minutes or so to kind of go through this. How do we prospect? How do we help people get started? But let me start with you right now. You sitting in the chair with us this morning, with us today. How did you get started? How did you get started in this business? Somebody asked you a question. What was the question they asked you? Do you want more money? Do you want better health? Are you happy with what you're doing? They had to prospect you. They had to ask you something in order to create a conversation. Maybe the conversation was just, maybe they're friends that you prospected. And at some point, you had to ask them a question. So let me ask you a question. What's your why? What's your why? What is it? Can you tell it to me? Can you tell it to your neighbor in 30 words or less? Because this will help you get started. Many of us are saying, well, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough at that, or maybe tomorrow I'll get started. See, if your why is bigger than your how, if your why is bigger than your how, you'll not worry about the how. A lot of times we go to meetings, a lot of times we go to events. We go to these events to learn more how. When how's not that important. It's important, but compared to why, you can barely even see it. So what's your why? Why did you come to this event today? Why will you go talk to somebody tomorrow? Why will you get started right now? Because it's probably for someone else. See, you may be doing this business for you, but your real why, your goal in your heart is I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my mom. I want to take care of my dad. I want to take care of my wife, my husband, my children, my brother, my sister. I want to take care of fill in the blank. Well, Sean, I really don't want to take care of anybody. I want to make a lot of money. To do what? To take care of my family. See, here's what I want you to do. You can pause the video here in just a second. I want you to get a piece of paper and get a pen, and I want you to do this. This is important. I want you to write down 10 whys. Write them down. Pause the video. Pause it and write down your 10 whys. Why do you want to be successful in your business, with your company, with your products? Why? Pause the video. I'll be here. So, did you get your list? Let me ask you a question. I want you to do something. We got our 10 whys. You ready? We've got number 1. We've got number 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? We got them all. Let me ask you a question. Watch this. Everybody look at your paper. Don't look at your neighbor. Look at your paper. Which is more important? Number 1 or number 2? Now you can only have one or the other. Can't have them both. Listen carefully. This is a training. This is a teaching. Follow the rules. Which is more important to you? Number 1 or number 2? You can only have one. Great. A lot of times, you've picked either 1 or 2. Awesome. So let's say it was number 2. Watch. Which is more important, number 2 or number 3? Well, number 2 is. Great. Which is more important, number 2 or number 4? Oh, well, 4 is more important. I want you to do that through the rest of your list. I want you to ask yourself, if I could only have one or the other of these, which would you want? Now, do that through the whole list. You're going to wind up with what? You're going to wind up with 1. And I'm going to ask you, is that your why? If that was your why, it's the only thing you could work on for the rest of your 90 days, the next 90 days, would that be enough for you to focus on? Is that strong enough for you to get started? Does that answer the question, why am I here? Because if it doesn't, start over. But if it does, just for the next 60, 90 days, won't that be powerful? Now you know why you're doing it. You've got your why. Because this is going to help you get started. This is going to help you in prospecting. This is going to help you double your business. It'll double the number of people you've sponsored in the last 90 days. I promise you that. I don't care if you sponsored 10 people in the last 90 days, you'll sponsor 20 in the next. If you've only sponsored one, you'll sponsor a dozen. Why? Because it gives you this level of confidence that you've not experienced before. It gives you this level of success internally that you know you're taking the right step. You have no doubt where you're going. Is this helping? Is this making sense? Okay. So, we now have our why. Does it matter how we get our why? Doesn't matter how we got it. We now at least have it. And that answers the question. So, in getting started, in prospecting, we have to find what? We have to find somebody else's why. We got to find the question. And we got to find what? The solution. See, because if somebody says they want to create more income, does your company help people create more income? Does your people help people increase the amount of money they make? Yep. Does it help people have free time? Right, that's a little clock. Does it give people more free time? Sure it does. So, how does it do that? I'm going to teach you the answer for that. If somebody has ever asked you, how do you do that? Has anyone ever been asked that? How do you do that? What if I could teach you an answer, a response that's 6 words, and it'll stop people in their tracks? It'll separate you from everyone else in the industry. Anyone that has ever prospected them before, they have asked that question, how do you do that? Do you want to know the answer that I've shared with people? And maybe it'll work for you. Folks, I'm just one guy. By no means do I have all the answers. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But the answers I do have worked fairly well for some people. So I'm going to teach you that in just a second. So let's go back to getting started. Why is it now a good time to get started? Because we found your why, we answered the question, and the solution is what you're doing right now. It's the team you're a part of. It's the company you're a part of. So how do we, when we're talking to somebody new, a prospect, how do we help them get started? What do we need? How do we make it easy for them to get started? First of all, they need to know that you're going to provide them a solution. Okay? So what do you say to them? Well, you usually want to define what it is they're doing. I have a training that's extremely powerful in this, and it's a 3-step process. It's the clarify, qualify, create expectations. It's a formula that will allow you in any conversation, in any negotiation, to bring the most value to that conversation. I'll teach you that in a little bit. So, when we're talking to somebody, we have to find out where they're at in helping them get started. See, the key to helping them get started is they need to know if they start. What do people want to know if they start? If I'm going to start something, I want to make sure what? What's their answer? What do you think their answer? What was your answer? Why do you think people who you asked to get started stopped? Here's what I found out. When somebody says, if I'm going to get started, I want to make sure I don't fail. Do you give me enough confidence to make sure that if I'm going to get started with you, I won't fail? Doesn't that make sense? See, when you understand that, it's not about you, it's always about you. If they ask that question, am I going to fail with you? Well, what's the chances of that? Can't they find any reason to fail? Can't they find any excuse to fail? Answer to that's absolutely yes. So this is why you have to kind of turn the table. It can't be about them. It has to be all about them. It can't be about you. It has to be about them. See, if we make it about us, I was at a training a couple of weeks ago with one of the first generation mega millionaires, Larry Thompson. I went to one of his trainings, 2-day training. And he said, if we're going to be responsible for their success, we also have to be responsible for their failure. Absolutely. So the less we make it about us and the more we make it about them, boy, that'll change everything, won't it? So how do we make it about them? Let me walk you through a 3 simple little step process. Is it okay if I'm writing on the board? You really can't tell me no, can you? Because you're not here. So first one, clarify. Number 1. When somebody says, well, sure, I want to make more money, clarify it. Why? Why do you want to make more money? What would you do with it? Now, don't be like a policeman interrogating. So tell me why you want to make more money. No. So that's awesome. Here, listen carefully to the language. Many of the people who get started with us, who join our company, that was their exact wish as well. See what we did there? We help them know that if they have that question, many people before them had that same question. So clarify it. Oh, well, I need to lose some weight. Great. What would you do if you lost the weight? See, we're clarifying it. Does this make sense? We want to get clear what it is they're having us help them find a solution to. Because our products, the company, the team, everything we do as an industry, as a community, is to provide value to others in the community. So right now, you're looking to help this person. You're helping them to find a solution. Well, I'd like to make an extra $1,000 a month. Awesome. Many of the people who have joined our company, that was their desire as well. Tell me, what would you want to do with the extra $1,000? Is it to pay off bills? Is it to go on a trip? Is it to go on such and such? Wow, all of a sudden, they really need to take it to the next level. I want this. Okay, well, tell me what you do with that. Now they're thinking here. Great. If that's the only thing you could work on in the next 90 days, would that be a good target to work towards? What did we just do? We just qualified. Is that worth their time? See, if somebody's going to get started, you want to make sure they know what they're going to work towards. Is that what they want to work on? Have our kids ever come to us and said, I'm going to go clean my room? Great, that's awesome. We got excited. Great, go clean your room. And 10 minutes later, they're back, I don't know, playing the guitar or watching TV. You never qualified, is that really what they want to do? Never really clarified, is that a true goal? See, even this works with our families. See, when you learn this and you begin to use it, you can create some very strong relationships. Because let me explain. So here we are, clarify. Do you want to lose the weight? Great. Is that if we worked on that for the next 90 days? Here's number 3. Create expectation. So you want to lose the weight? Is that what we want to work on for the next 90 days? If that happens, if we stay totally focused on that and you achieve it, how will you feel? See, part of getting started, helping someone get started, is getting them out of their head and getting them into their heart. Get them into the emotion, because emotion creates motion. Motion creates emotion. The reason people quit is because they're not doing anything. They stopped about 60 days before they quit. And if they quit week 2 that they joined you, they had quit long before you ever met them. So clarify, qualify, create expectation. See, if we do this, and we can do that in one meeting, we can do that in 10, 15 minutes of conversation. If we do that, guess what? We'll help them get started. And now they're getting started for who? Are they getting started for you? Or are they getting started for themselves? See, now you can't take any credit for their success, which also means you're not going to stop doing what you're doing because you're going to take credit for their failure too. See, my mentor taught me, if I teach you, if I do something that takes money from you, I can become rich. If I do something that teaches you how to create your own money, I can become wealthy. This teaches people how to be responsible for their own business. This teaches people how to be responsible for their own decisions, their own resistance. Does this make sense? I hope it does, because this can change your business. So they're going to say, okay, yes, I understand that's the goal I want. That's exactly what I'm willing to work on. And if I do that, that would be outstanding. How do you do that? Right? That's going to be the question. You ready? You ready? Listen carefully. Here's the answer. Here's an answer I share. I'm not even going to, I'll write it down in a second. So here's the, so how do you do that? Very well. Why do you ask? How do you do that? How do I do that? Very well. Why do you ask? What did that just do? See, because if somebody asked you that before, if somebody asked you that yesterday and they said, how do you do that? You go, oh, well, we have our compensation plan. We have these products. We're an international company. We have an incredible management team. My sponsor was amazing. My team is incredible. Our products do this, this, and this. You just lost them. Very well. Why do you ask? What does that do? Listen to what it does. What did it just do for you? Did it change up the way you saw things? Dr. Wayne Dyer says what? Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change? Very well. Why do you ask? See, what happens is they now have to, their brain's going, why did I ask that? Because we're such robots. If I say up, you say what? If I say in, you say out. If I say black, you say white. If I say hot, you say cold. We live in this too. It's called a binary world. When you ask this question, you just cause them to say, what did I just say I want to do? I said I'm going to focus on it, and then he told me or she told me we could do this together. And he just said he does it very well. Why did I ask him that? Well, because I want it. Great. When do you want to start? Oh, well, why would I want to start? See what happens? Now, if somebody's ever said to you, well, I don't have enough money, after you've gone through that, and it happens all the time. Well, I don't have enough money. What would you need money for? Well, to get started in your business. Why would you get started? Well, I want to lose weight. Okay. Well, can you lose weight without spending money? No. So you said this is a goal you'd want to work on, right? Yep. And if we could do it in the next 90 days, would that be good? Yep. Then I'd suggest you get started. When would you want to get started to do this? Well, I guess now. Great. If I promise I'll help you and not let you fail, I won't fail you. You can choose to stop, but I won't fail you. Would you be willing to get started? Yep. Isn't that a lot easier? Isn't that a lot easier? I hope it is. So, getting started. Right now is the best time to get started. Use this. Find their why. Ask the question. Find the solution. Help them clarify, qualify, create expectation. Help them through the process. Because if you're going to go, what did Einstein say? If you're going to go do what you've done, don't be surprised you're going to get what you got. So I got to ask you, are you ready to get started on your dream? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? If you are, then write down on a sheet of paper the date and the time and sign it. Put your signature on it, because enough is enough. You deserve more. I hope this has been of value. If it has, do me a favor. Send me a note. What did you like most? What did you like most? And what did you learn? What's one thing you liked and one thing you learned? Send me a note on that. And do this. Leave a comment. Share this with a friend. Give this to somebody on your team. Let them know that it's helped you. So I appreciate you listening, spending some time with me. Follow me on Facebook. Go to my fan page, because my personal page is completely filled. Go to my fan page. Follow me on YouTube. I've got some new websites that are coming out, kind of putting everything all together. So I look forward to being of service to you. Rodrigo, thanks for letting me be a part of it. I look forward to seeing you all where? At the next event. Till then, bye for now.